Hi, today we're going to talk about how to use presets in Lightroom and Camera Raw. It doesn't matter what kind of Lightroom you have, if it's cloud-based, classic or mobile, the presets works everywhere. And this is the first video I have a sponsor on, and the sponsor is me, so I don't get paid or anything, but I made some presets that are available on my website. I made 4 packages: basic, creative, vintage and portrait. And just for you, I've made a discount code. Link is in the description, of course. So you get 25% off the first 2 weeks from that this video is released. Shall we look at some photos and how to use presets? Here's a picture of a tram in Prague in the summer. And now we can just choose a preset and be fine, right? No, there are some things we have to learn because we have to adjust the presets. The presets are only a starting point, and then we can tweak them to a final image. But it's easy. The only thing you have to learn is the basic panel in Lightroom or Camera Raw. Because a good preset shouldn't need more adjustments than that. So what does the basic panel do? Well, I will go through this quickly. If you want more in-depth tutorial, please let me know in the comments. White balance. If we draw it to the left, it gets cooler and warmer on the right, or blue or yellow. And the tint, green and magenta. If we double-click the slider, it will reset itself. You can also choose one of Lightroom's what they think it should be, like auto. Or you can use the eyedrop tool and choose somewhere in the picture where it's a neutral color, like gray or white. And there we have a white balance. Exposure is the brightness of the photo. Darker, brighter, that's it. I will come back to contrast. Highlights, shadows, whites and blacks. It's what the names say. So highlights up and down. Shadows up or down. Whites and blacks. And often we use shadows and blacks differently from each other because they don't do exactly the same thing. Often I use shadows. I raise the shadows to get more things in my picture visible, but then I restore some contrast by lowering the blacks. For example, texture, clarity and dehaze, be careful with those, because those, if you're not careful, those are the sliders that will ruin your picture. Texture gets more crispy to the right and more blurry to the left. Clarity is a mid-contrast slider that very artificial if you go too far on either side. And dehaze, it's meant to get rid of haze or add haze to a picture, but it's actually a contrast slider as well. So it gets more bluer and darker to the right and whiter and more foggier to the left. Foggier, I don't know if that's a word. And then we have vibrance and saturation. Both are adjusting all colors at once. But vibrance restore skin tones, I believe, if we raise it, and saturation doesn't care about skin tones. It's just do all the colors up or down. So we can go black and white to the left and full color on the right. Contrast, I use the last. It makes the dark darker and the bright brighter. I use that the last thing I do if I think I need a little bit more contrast here, or I need a little bit less. So if I drag it to the right, the dark gets darker and the bright gets brighter. And opposite to the left. That's the only thing we have to learn to use a preset, because the preset should be a good enough starting point for you to get a picture done in just a minute using those sliders. So let's see what the Lightroom presets, the presets that Adobe provides, can do to this picture. This is a summer picture, so let's choose summer. If we hover the mouse over, we can see what the preset will do to the picture. This is 1, 2 looks good, 3, 4, oh, very yellow. 5, very green. Now it's getting more blue. Oh, this looks like autumn. And so on. Let's choose number 2. And then we look at the picture and see if is there something we want to do to this picture more than the preset have done. I want to lower the highlights a little bit. And then I need to raise the shadows, and I also want to lower the blacks. And I want a vignette, so I will go down to post crop vignetting. Lower the if I do too much, it looks ridiculous. If I do on the other side, it looks awful. But minus 11, 12 somewhere should be fine. Something like that. On every chapter in the edit panel, we can press this I to see the before and after. So, and if we press Y on our keyboard, we can see the before and after. So the before is on the left and the after, the edited version, is on the right. And that looks quite good to me. I could post that on Instagram, no problem. Most of my presets, not most, but many of my presets are adaptive presets, which means they have masking built in to them. So let's take another example here. We go to this picture. This is an early sunrise picture in Sweden. It was foggy. And I will go to basic and I will say travel 1. Click on that. No, I didn't like that. Let's reset it and go to sunset 1 instead. I like that much better, but I think it's too bright. So I will lower the exposure a little bit and lower the whites a tiny bit as well. Something like that. I will also crop this because it doesn't need to be that much empty space. Something like that. And let's say I want to adjust the sky. Well, I've named all the masks. So I will go into the masking and choose sky. And I will only use the basic panel here also. It's the same sliders, but now they will only affect the sky. So I will lower the highlights a little bit and I will warm it up a little bit with more yellow in the sky. Something like that. And we have an eye here also so we can see the before and after. Before and after on the whole picture. And with just a few adjustments, 36.5 seconds, we have this picture. The masking is especially helpful on portraits. So I will give an example of that. Here's a guy, this guy tried to sell me carpets in Morocco. I didn't buy one, but I took a picture. My go-to preset for portraits is Natural Portrait 1, so I will choose that. And let the AI do its thing, and now, no, not really now. It takes a little bit more time because the AI is going to find out where the masks should be. But that looks fine. Before and after, you can see that his face is a bit brighter. The image looks sharper in a way. But there's a couple of things I need to adjust, or I want to adjust. The first thing is, I think his lips are dull. So I will go here and find the lips. They are here. And I will change the white balance on the lips and also raise the contrast on the lips. And now we can see the before and after on the lips, and now they are more vibrant. And I also want to darken the background so he stands out a little bit more. So I have a background mask. And I will just lower the exposure a tiny little bit, like that. Now, the subject stands out in the picture. I changed 2 sliders, and the picture looks fine. That's how you use presets. Don't think of presets as a final result. They should be a starting point, but if it's a good preset, you shouldn't have to change many things to get a decent image. Of course you can tweak things endlessly in a picture, but you should have an Instagram ready picture within 1 minute after you have chosen a preset. Thanks for watching.